Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Manor Lords. Now you might be wondering what we're doing back here with homeless tents and oxen and our supplies all over the floor. Well, as is often the case with early access games, some updates tend to break save files, or it's recommended to get the full use of those new updates. You will have to start a brand new save, and that's just what we've had to do. So the first 5 episodes of our series we are calling Season 1, and Season 2 begins afresh here in Eichenhau, which was one of the first zones that we actually moved into. So we're going to jump through. We obviously have the same victory conditions of dominance. We will have our enemy lord on the map, but we have slightly altered our little badge. We have the same ruler, Macbethad, who we coined in our first series, and you can see here we begin again in Eichenhau. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and maximize things a little bit better, taking everything that we've learned from our first season and hopefully going to actually take on some new lands and fight back against the enemy lord. Now, last time we were utterly embarrassed by some bandits, and luckily we're going to be able to right the wrongs based on what we've learned. So you can see here we have a rich iron deposit and a rich clay deposit. Also got 20 wild animals and the usual berry deposit there and some stone. But it all begins as usual with our first logging camp, which we're going to put up here, and I'm going to make this our little industrial area here. So our logging camp will go quite close to that clay pit. And there we have it. Right, okay, so that will be constructed. We're then going to get our logistics. We're going to grab a storehouse. And what I want to do is I just want to create a little bit of an off-road here that links all of these like that. And then in there, we should be able to put a marketplace, actually. So let's just have a quick look there. Where are we? Markets. Go here. Down to there. Along to here. And yeah, 36 markets. So we've got our marketplace. I think that's a really nice place to put it. We can then put a bunch of trade buildings in there as well. And that should be a really good start. Now our logging camp is going to come straight down here on a bit of a curve. And I think we'll have it kind of loop around and out to create kind of like a crossroads there. Like that. And then we'll again have it loop down here. Once we get all of that stuff moved, we'll be able to put in another road. So next, we're going to get some logistics. We're going to get a storehouse. Our first storehouse is going to go kind of across the road here from where our markets are going to be, and the granary is going to be exactly the same. So we'll put the granary right next to the storehouse. It does look a little bit boxy, but trust me, that's not going to be a permanent thing. I'm then going to have a road come off here and run kind of parallel, curving away. And then we can start thinking about how we're going to manage our settlement a little bit better. So that's in. We can maybe get a few burgage plots and stuff in there. I'm going to put one road that kind of goes up from the storehouse to there. And then we are going to move that first hitching post. We're going to put it right on the corner there. Great. So next up, we'll get our logging camp constructed. We'll have our granary and our storehouse constructed. We'll then move all of our materials into storage. And we could also do with a firewood, a woodcutter's lodge. So woodcutter, we're going to put over here. We'll have like it kind of just in the middle of the forest there. And we'll have a little road coming off and linking back up with the settlement that way. Great. And then out here we've got some wild animals and some berry deposits. Obviously we want to try and keep away from the wild animal hunting cabins and stuff. We want to try and give a little bit of a area. We'll kind of create a bit of a woodland walk that goes all the way around here. What I don't want is for those animals to migrate away if we start chopping down trees there. So we don't want that to kind of become an issue. Let's get the forager hut put in place, and then we'll also get the hunting camp put in place as well. So that's them under construction. We can get someone working in that forager hut and hunting cabin as soon as possible. We're also going to need a saw pit, and we don't actually have enough goods to provide that yet. So our next step is going to be the saw pit and then a forester's hut, so we can start very quickly regrowing after we've chopped down some trees. We're just going to let all of our citizens get to work. We're going to try and fulfill all of these build orders immediately and get things moved into the storehouse and the granary to prevent them being deteriorated by the weather. So we'll boost the priority there, and we'll boost it here as well. Get it built as quickly as possible. All right, we've got a new message. Of course, we know who it is. It's Hildebolt von Breinenreuth. I think that was his name. I can't remember. Berenreuter. That's it. You've got no rightful claim to these lands, my friend. So I will be taking them off you in the near future. Now that I have a little bit more of a grasp on how we play this game successfully. So let's let things build. All right, okay, so we have our hunting camp, our storehouse, our granary, everything is up and running. We are now going to just very quickly get some people working in there. We're going to change their work areas. Just going to increase the work area there to that space, and we're going to do the same with the storehouse, just to get everything that's kind of stored there in that supply pile moved straight away. Next, then, we're going to get to our berries. We're going to have a forager hut. Someone's going to work in there, and then they are going to immediately start foraging those berries. We'll get someone working in the hunting camp, and again, they've got an unlimited work area, so we'll just let them get to work, and we'll keep a hunting limit of about 8. So we leave 8 alive, and it just means we can hunt 12 of them, and then we can let them breed and bring everything back up to speed. That is a very good start. Now then, we'll get these supplies shifted in. Once that is done, we should be able to remove people from the storehouse and granary to get them back into the general work pool so we can actually start building. We do need someone to go and work in the logging camp, and we're also probably going to need someone to go and work elsewhere as well. So we'll unassign those families. That's all done. Someone can go into the logging camp, and again, we will give them a work area that kind of just goes up to around about this area. We want to clear that forest to reveal the clay deposit. And the woodcutter's lodge, we'll get someone working in there, and we'll give them a little bit of a work area just kind of around this space here. Cool. That gets us underway, and next up we're going to need to start looking at getting our burgages. So if we have a quick look here, what I'd like to do is create some nice big vegetable patches to get us underway. I can't actually do that in this area until they are completely destroyed, but we can't actually destroy the tents without moving some people into actual burgages. So what we could do is we could begin with like some here that just run along there. We'll have them come up to that intersection and then come across here. Now the problem is they're pretty small, so it might be worth us just having these set as eggs for now with chicken coops in, and we will actually reduce the size of them so that they will go here. That might be a good plan to begin with. Along there, if we can maybe just pull it up that way. No, that doesn't work. Let's just go all the way along to the end of this road. Then we cross here. And there. I think that might be a good plan. Actually, we could make these ones vegetable patches. So we can fit an extra house in 2 of those lands, and then another one can just be free or empty. I wonder if we can just extend a little bit so that we get to the straight road here, and then maybe just come across there. There we go. I think that's pretty decent. What if I can go all the way up to where the... This is very ambitious, you mind. We can go up to there. No, that's horrific. What has that made? That has made the largest housing plot you could imagine with the smallest. I've got an idea. We'll start up here at the woodcutters, and we'll have it come all the way down to here, and then kind of up to where the edge of the forest is. We'll see what that makes. I think this could be the one. Go up to here, and then we'll have it top out there. I can just find a way. Actually, I might leave that house on the edge there with no like extra stuff, and that can kind of become the forester's house. I think that's actually a really nice little feature. So we can fit an extra homestead there, I'm going to have... Oh, we can actually fit 2 there. So we'll leave those 2 blank. I think that'll be decent. And then here we've got extra space, extra space, extra space. And we can make them vegetable patches. I think they're going to be big enough. That's a decent start. Right, we're going to let these build. And I will see you for the next phase of development. Alright, so we've now built our 5 burgage plots, and you can see here this one is the one that backs out right next to the firewood splitters. And I think it looks really cool. I think it's a really nice little layout. Obviously we can expand it and get another house in there, but essentially I'm looking to kind of create little housing areas next to these work zones so that we have more space. You know, our citizens can hopefully work close to where they live. Anyway, let's see what else we can do now. So we will have our first skill point because we have increased our settlement level for having those 5 burgage plots at level 1. And the first perk we're going to take on is going to be charcoal burning. This converts 1 firewood into 2 charcoal, which makes refueling twice as efficient. Now, there's a reason we're going to go down into this tree because we want deep mining, but we also want basic armor making and hopefully advanced armor making. We're also going to take on trade logistics and better deals. Now, there's a reason why I'm going for all of these. I'm going to need to do some trading. Eichenhau does not have the best fertility, so food is probably going to be the main thing, but we're going to look to make really good use of the rich clay deposit here and the rich iron deposit. If we make them into deep mining, we'll be able to have our armaments made in-house and it'll look really, really good. There's a reason I'm not going for the plate mail because it only uses up, it's only used for your retinue, and my retinue is going to take me a long time to build up. So what's the point in having that extra skill point to use resources when actually by the time I have a strong enough retinue to be able to outfit them with plate armor, I'm going to be able to buy that plate armor directly from an export or an import provider. So we have our militia now. We can form that up. Our spear militia, we've only got 10 at the moment because we don't have enough citizens to have any more. So for now, that will have to do us. Our next step then is to get our approval rating up. Homelessness has already been solved, but we do need a wooden church. And to get that built, we're going to need to build out our saw pit. Now, over here by this logging camp, we can stick down our first saw pit, get that built, and then move some people around. We've got plenty of timber at the moment, so I'm probably going to remove someone from that. And at the moment, our fuel is looking pretty strong as well. So we will take 1 person out of the woodcutter's lodge. I also want to prevent them from setting up market stalls. Also going to make sure that our storehouse is the only one that's allowed to set up market stalls, the same with our granary. So let's prevent the hunting camp from setting up a stall and the forager hut from setting up a stall, so that everything now will have to be funneled into the granary and the storehouse, and the people working there will be the ones who sell the goods from those areas. We don't have anyone working at the woodcutters at the moment. We have someone at the logging, and we're going to remove them from the logging camp. And then we will have one working into the granary. We'll get that saw pit constructed. I'm probably going to have to move some things around a little bit in future as well. Also, what we can now do is start expanding those living spaces. So we're going to do that to everyone here. And that will give us a nice number of living spaces in the future for when our new citizens move in. At the moment, we're on 22 timber, which is fine. This saw pit is going to be our priority construction, so we'll make that very high. And then we can start looking at building our church. Once that's built, we're probably going to need to get our second hitching post up and running. We need 20 planks and 5 timber for our church. And once that's built, you'll probably see our approval rating really start to increase. So, at this moment in time, we need a medium village. So that's going to require 5 level 1 burgage plots and 2 level 2 burgage plots, which means we're going to need to build some more burgage. We're probably going to do that along here, and I just want to see how this kind of measures up. Actually, I'm going to go this way this time, and then we'll have it come to here. And we'll have it extend all the way to the end there.
Come on, laddie, come along.
And we get it to go all the way behind you. No. Yeah, we'll have it go right up to the end of that. Then let's reduce this in size. So we can now get 2 there, 2 there, 2 there, 2 there, and just the 1 there. Going to go even further. 2, 2, 2. Yeah, great. That works. Cool. And they are all, again, going to be vegetable patches. But they are then going to be able to work at the saw pit. So we've got quite a lot going on. I'm just going to speed things up again, and we'll get things sorted. The reason I'm doing this is because I feel like in the first series we got a lot done, and I don't want us to go back in time and have to do really long, arduous episodes to get caught up. So you're going to see a lot of me setting plans in motion, and then we'll speed through those things and get them done.
Come on, laddie, come on.
And so as our next set of burgage plots are finished off, we're going to come back in and see where we're up to. So our work area over here for the berry gathering is now empty because we've gathered them all and it is the end of season, so we'll bring them away from the forager hut. We do still have people working in the granary and storehouse, and they're going to continue to keep those market stalls up and running. We do have a firewood stall and a food stall that's abandoned at the moment, but that's simply because I think the person working there should now be coming from the granary. We've got more burgage plots being built, and we currently have 14 living spaces. We're going to get someone to work in the saw pit as soon as we can, and we'll also add one more back to the logging camp. I think our fuel should be okay for now. Don't need anyone working in the woodcutter's lodge at present. We've got a storehouse, we've got the granary there at work. I think our wild animals as well, we could do with removing someone from the hunting camp, and that should help us out as well. Saw pit is there and the logging camp is underway, so we're going to speed things up, get the rest of this burgage finished, and we'll be able to get our church built very soon. So we're at 5 timber, 20 planks, which is going to be our next kind of thing. Our saw pit, I'm going to put a construction reserve of 10 units of timber. So we'll always make sure that we have 10 units of timber before we start taking them away and using them to create planks. We'll expand the living spaces in these areas here to once again boost the amount of people we can have living here. We're going to have 18 living spaces over these small burgage plots, and we can start spending some of our regional wealth very soon. I am going to use the first couple of planks I've got to upgrade that to a small stable, and we're then going to get our trading post built as soon as possible. We'll put that right next to that small stable there, and there we've got people will be able to come in and buy some goods, and we'll also be able to export goods, which is what's going to really boost our regional wealth and allow us to convert all of these, apart from this one, into burgage plots. Into actual vegetable patches. It's not burgage plots, they're already burgage plots. So we're going to start by spending a couple on just getting our initial vegetable gardens up and running, going into the end of this year. And having 2 families working on those plots is going to make them more efficient. That's exactly why I've done this and made these burgage plots quite big, as well as giving them enough space to fit in some extra housing. So the next step is probably going to be to look at getting some eggs, which is going to be the next set of residential areas that I build. And we want to keep these a little bit smaller so that we can really make use of the area that we have at our disposal. We've got plenty of food and plenty of fuel. The food is looking really, really good, actually, so that's something to keep in mind. We've got more wild animals coming in, but until we have more people moving in, we can't do anything about that. We now have enough for our church, and all that remains to be done is find a place that's suitable for it. I'm half tempted to put it behind the houses here, but I'd quite like it to be vaguely centralised, so I think maybe we could use it to frame where we're going to put our burgage plots that are going to be producing eggs for us. So I think maybe here, but I don't want it too close to the clay pit. I'm wondering, we'll put it over on this side of the town. You remember we put in that road that runs all the way around there. So I think we can put it somewhere around about here. Maybe on the crossroads down here. Although I quite like it here. That'd be a nice area to have it. So we'll put it just on the corner there. And then around the back here, we can have some more houses that are going to be producing eggs and stuff. Obviously, we've got the clay pit there, so we want to make sure that we're just keeping enough space in to actually make that. So let's get our mining up and running. We'll put a mining pit in right there. We don't need to use it yet. It's just good to have in. And then in our industry, we'll put the clay furnace quite close to it. We do need stone for that. Don't think we have stone. So we'll leave that for now. Where is the stone on this map? It's over there. But it's good to know that we can now run a road that kind of links these up. So we'll keep that road going. And we'll loop that around behind the church. I'm just trying to create little marks that I can use to frame the settlement. There we go. So we've got a nice big space there that we can start looking at putting in some more burgage. Maybe we run a row of houses all the way down here. At least we've got our production buildings there, and then I'll maybe replant some trees just to create a little bit of a frame in that space there. Put in trees to kind of frame off. Remove that road. Bring all the way down to here. A nice road there. And then we'll run this one along. Just to the end there. And then this can come all the way down into that crossroads. And this one will do the same. And when I put in a forester's hut, we'll have them forest that area there. So we've got this really nice, like, little natural row of trees. And I'll maybe do the same here. So then we create these little pockets of woodland walkways where it just looks nice. I'm not like, you know, I'm trying to make it remain quite nice looking. And then along here, I think it's probably a good idea. We'll run a road that goes to here, forming another sort of crossroad, and we will put in some more burgage running along there. Our church has now been built. In fact, I don't like that. Let's get rid of that. And I think we'll get rid of this one. And then what we'll try and do is maybe forest up an area here. So let's now, we're heading into winter. Things are looking pretty good. We can add another ox, which is going to help us out immensely. We've still got 10 timber. We've got 3 planks. I guess our logging camp work area has now vanished. Yes, we don't have any more space there. So let's adjust the size here. We're going to move into a larger area of forest, kind of around here. We'll get rid of all of that there. Our woodcutter is doing okay, I think. They've got plenty of space still. But now it's definitely time to start looking at areas where we can reforest. So we will put down our first forester's hut right next to the woodcutter. And we'll have them start foresting this large space here. And then I think we'll add another forester's hut in right next to the clay furnace, clay pit. And they can start foresting again an area. Maybe we'll have them do that space there to give us a little bit more of an idea of what it's all going to look like. We do need a well. So let's have a quick look at our underground water. Can't really see it at the moment because it's winter. We will put the well, we can actually just fit it in there. Yeah, that works. So it's right behind the granary and the storehouse. And again, you see we're kind of making the most of the little bits of space that we've got, those tiny little pockets that we've created. And we're going to need a tannery. So we're going to go back out into the wilderness where our hunting cabin is. And we will have them build a tannery immediately right on the outskirts of that hunting camp. which we can now bring someone else back into. Not the forager hut, the hunting camp. Thank you very much. We'll get someone moved out of that forager's hut. We don't need them working in there because it is not fertile at the moment. Logging camp, we'll leave that one in there. Saw pit, we're good. We're going to keep building that up. The clay deposit, we will start mining that. Actually, no, we won't. We'll leave that. Wooden church is fine. We don't need anything there. Trading post now, that is set up. So let's get to work. Now, our trading post, we're going to export something that we have a lot of. We do have a lot of berries at the moment, but I don't really want to do that as we're in the middle of winter. We do still have tools, though. Tools are pretty useless at the moment, so we could actually sell all of the tools that we currently have. The problem is we are going to need to set up a specific trade route before we can actually sell them. So we can't do that. What we can do, however, is maybe sell some firewood. But I think it's probably better that we just restock our supplies, get in some more people working in these burgage plots, and then hopefully we'll be able to start turning a profit in the next kind of season. I don't want to do too much risky business during the winter, so we will just leave it as we are. We are going to go out here, though, and build a stone cutter camp. And we'll build a temporary road that cuts through the forest here and links up with that rounded space. We also have our iron deposit there, which is going to be our next target, so we can start building our army. I'm going to let things speed through until we get to some nicer weather. Alright, we've finally just about thawed out. It's now March of year 2. We still need to increase the level of some of our burgage plots, which we can do, and we will do that on these farms when we finally get the requirements met. We do need a clothing stall supply. Now that should come from our tannery once that's been constructed. So we're going to boost up the priority of the construction over there. You can see now we have our berry deposits growing back. Due to the new settlers that we've had move in, we can actually start fitting out, making sure that we've got plenty of people working in our new plots. Over at the stonecutter camp, we are finally going to be able to get someone cutting stone, which is going to help us towards building our manor and also allow us to build our clay furnace and start producing some tiles. Forester's hut has now been constructed, so we're going to put one person in there when we finally get the opportunity to do so, and we're going to start reforesting some small areas. Mainly down here, I think, is probably going to be a good place to do it. So we're going to start reforesting in these small areas, letting them get to work, and then in fact we'll increase the work area here. What we'll have them do is we'll have them forest just a large area there, and that will kind of surround the church. But also it just means when we finally come to build in these areas, we'll be able to cut them down, but we'll have also reforested the little alleyways and stuff that I was actually looking to create, which I think is a great plan. What we can also do is pop down some cosmetic stuff. These little shrines are really cool, so I think I'm going to put one of them just there on the corner. They don't actually cost anything, and we'll erase some shrubbery. We've got shrubs and stuff just in these little burgage plots that I want to get rid of, just to clean it up a little bit, and then we'll remove them all from here. I mean, it doesn't matter too much because at some point they're going to be trees again, but it just gives me an easy opportunity to see where I can make some improvements or where we've got trees that I can actually remove. You can see all the shrubbery in here in this area. You could have thought those were trees, but they absolutely aren't. There we go. Right, so mining pit is good to go. Logging camp, we've got stuff happening. We've got lots of timber, lots of planks. We can actually take someone out of the saw pit for now because we're good on the amount of planks that we've got. And I think we'll go to our trading post and we will see about trading some planks. So we're going to export some planks. We're going to keep our desired surplus at 10. And then the export of planks is going to help us get some stuff in there as well. And I'm going to do the same with our leather. No, our hides. Yeah, let's export some hides as well. We'll keep our surplus of hides at 10. And that means we're going to be selling hides as well. We'll get someone working in the trading post. We've already got one there. We'll have 2 work in the trading post. And we should have... Yep, we've hunted down the wild animals as much as we can. So we'll get 1 working in the tannery. We'll not have them set up a market stall. Our storehouse can actually upgrade to a large storehouse, but we're going to leave that for now. Our granary's looking pretty good as well. Another enemy's army has been spotted. I think they are in our land as well. How dare they? Hopefully they're just here to have a little look around. We don't have the resources to fight them yet. We are almost able to get our clothing sorted now. I think once that tannery's produced a few pieces of leather, they can then go into the storehouse and be sold at our marketplace, which means people are going to be able to actually get clothing, and we can... Here they are. They're here. What are they doing? They're not going to attack us, are they? No. That was weird. That was very weird. Anyway, we've made some... we're going to be able to get another vegetable garden there. Didn't like that at all. It just ran off. Oh, they're going to take on those bandits in Eichenhau. Okay. God, that scared me. Legitimately scared me. Right, we should have some stone coming in now. Yep, we got 19 stone, which means we can actually build but not use our clay furnace. It might seem weird putting these into place now, but I just think it's going to be a really good way to get this done. Get some early development on the cards. Keep everything nice and neat and compact. At the moment, we're at 71% approval. We still have space for another 6 citizens to move in, so I'm not too worried about our expansions. Things are going pretty well. We do need to upgrade a couple, though. So once we get another we get our clothing stall in place, I think we'll be able to start expanding things there. Hopefully we just get these people access to what they need, and then we can actually get that sorted as quickly as possible. We are able to put in another vegetable garden there, so we'll do that. Can't actually do anything with that burgage plot. It's just a generic one. And then we can start doing vegetable gardens here as well. So I think what we should be looking to do now is expanding the amount of leather and giving ourselves another food source with eggs, which we can do by coming to this side here, and we'll just put in a couple of smaller burgage plots. Now, we do need them to have back gardens, so we just need to get the sizing right here. That works. We'll build them. And then along here, I wonder if I can just make something a little bit odd. We actually can. Yeah, we can make something a bit strange there. That works. Cool. We'll pop this down, and then we'll come along to here. That actually fits 2 burgage plots in that are quite small, but it fills in that gap. They won't be able to have any back gardens or anything, but I'm going to do that. And then along here, the back of the church, we can actually put in some slightly larger size ones. But they're still like enough of a size to kind of justify me being able to put eggs and hides and stuff in there. I think if you have multiple families working in these, you'll get more hides or more eggs, but I'm not too bothered about that at this moment in time. Just being able to get them in is good enough for me. And yeah, once we get that row of trees in, they're going to be hidden away from these industrial buildings like the logging camp and stuff. Obviously down here, this burgage plot gets the short straw because they have to put up with it, but it's okay. More vegetable gardens can go in. We've got a couple more sales, which has given us a little bit more regional wealth. More people are starting to move in. Let me just check. Do I have someone working in the Woodcutter's Lodge? Yes, we do. So we've got a nice amount of fuel. I think now as well might be time to put in... let's get another... Where's that Forester's Hut? Let's have 2 people working in that Forester's Hut. We'll have them plant in this space here. And we'll again get 2 people working there. So both of our foresters' huts are now working overtime. We just need to get some more people coming in to live and work. And then we can hopefully, let's just have a look. I'm going to very quickly move my Woodcutter's Lodge influence area. Work area, sorry. We'll make it a little bit bigger. We do have 1 person working there. Everything else is pretty fine, really. Things are getting upgraded. We can hopefully, what I'll do is I'll drop 1 person from the trading post, keep that singular person working in there. We don't actually have anybody working in the clothing stall yet, which is a little bit frustrating. And again, our forager's hut is empty. Either exhausted it. Yeah, we've exhausted that berry deposit, which means we can take them off. That's fine. Tannery, how's that going? It is producing leather, which is good. Don't have any clothing yet. We need linen. It's linen, wool, or leather. Was that because we don't have any? Yeah, we haven't got any linen in the storehouse, but we can actually get it in there. Could well be because we just don't have enough people working in there. There we go. So they will now give us a market stall in that area. We'll put another one in there. That's it. That's what we needed. We need more people working in those storehouses. Ideally, what I want to do is I just want to have these people focused on gathering and foraging. So they won't be allowed to create a market stall. And then if we just have people working in the storehouses and granary at all times and have them working in marketplaces, you can see we'll start getting food, firewood again, food. We get food variation there. And then once we get a supply into the storehouse of leather, we can actually start selling the clothing. Because the tannery at the moment has 10 there waiting to be taken. Nothing going on in the storehouse at the moment because they are actually used. Oh, hang on. I need to clear their work areas. That's why I have made the mistake of allowing them to continue their work area from when I moved the original supplies. So do be aware of that. Now we should get plenty of linen coming, leather coming in, and they'll be able to start selling goods, which means we can finally upgrade our burgage plots. Just got to wait for a clothing stall to pop up there. But yeah, that's much better. We've got another bandit camp on the map somewhere. There it is, down in Imenruth. But we're looking good now. I'm pretty happy with how things are going. We've not sold anything else at the trading post, which is a bit of a shame. But then again, we have stopped producing planks. So that's probably why. Maybe if I get someone else in there making some planks for us. I think we'll leave it though. The logging camp is pretty full up. Let's get 1 person working in the stable now. Just to help us move more efficiently. Got plenty working in the forester's hut, so that means we're going to have some trees growing pretty soon. And the clay furnace is up and running. Our mining pit is up and running. And now I think... How's our stone looking? The stone cutter's camp can now be demolished because everything has been mined there. 15 stone is all we managed to get from that. I think something's gone wrong there. I think where we've built that stonecutter camp, is that really all of the stone we had in this region? Oh, that makes things difficult because I think our mana costs more than that. Oh no, 15. Right. So, we're going to change our trading post. We're going to set our surplus to 25 on planks. And then we're going to put someone else to work in the saw pit. And that's hopefully going to push us to the next level and allow us to get our mana. Alright, so I think that just about settles us for today's episode. We are almost at the end of year 2. We've just gotten into autumn. I think next time we're going to need to have a look at getting some more planks, timber. We're going to need to import stone, depending on what I've done there. Definitely something's gone wrong. But we've got lots of berries, which is a really nice start. Our fuel is starting to build really nicely as well. And we are getting some leather and hides in place. We just need someone to set up a clothing stall in our market, and I think that's going to involve us getting someone else to come to work in the storehouse. So what we'll need to do is probably expand that storehouse next episode and then get someone else working in there. But that's going to mean we need to bring in some more people. But we do have 30 living spaces that we haven't yet occupied. Well, 30 living spaces altogether. And I think this is looking really nice. It seems a lot more organized than our first attempt, and we are managing things a lot easier. So I hope you don't mind that we've had to restart, but I hope you're learning a little bit more and the settlement is looking a lot nicer to the viewer. I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.